Now that we are all familiar with the taxation schemes, final income taxation and capital gains taxation, let us introduce ourselves further to these topics. Final income taxation, the final withholding system. The income payer as source is the same person responsible to withhold the tax. Recipient income taxpayer receives the income net of tax. Thus, there would be no need to file an income tax return since it is already deemed final payment. Final withholding system is territorial, meaning it applies only to certain passive income earned from sources within the Philippines. Rationale of final income taxation. The final withholding tax is built for the convenience of the taxpayer and the government. This relieves the taxpayer of the obligation to file an income tax return. For the government, this system is the most convenient and effective way in collecting taxes on income. To recall, under the NIRC, final income tax is imposed on certain passive income and upon non-resident persons not engaged in business in the Philippines. These are the passive income subject to final tax according to NIRC. Capital gains taxation. We can classify the taxpayer's property into two. One is ordinary assets. In its basic sense, ordinary assets are assets held for sale, such as inventory, and assets held for use, such as supplies and items of PPE. Capital assets are non-inventory assets, such as personal, non-business assets of individual taxpayers, and business assets of any taxpayer, which are financial assets and intangible assets. Asset classification is relative. The classification of assets or properties as ordinary assets or capital assets does not depend upon the nature of the property, but upon the nature of the taxpayer's business and its usage by the business. Types of gains on dealings in properties. Ordinary gain arises from dealings and other conditional sales of ordinary assets, while capital gain arises from dealings and other conditional sales of capital assets. There are only two types of capital gains subject to capital gains tax. These are capital gains on the sale of domestic stocks and sale of real properties. That is all for my discussion. I hope you learned something. Thank you.